We're live! What's going on, guys? Mark here, Big Critique. I'm a little bit more energized than yesterday. Yesterday I was half dead when I came on. I just wanted to post yesterday. I should say I did not want to post yesterday. Whoever is here right now, thank you so much for tuning in. So, today we are doing a critique of a photography website. But before I do that, before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the app development process from start to finish, and where on most projects that I've been on where things have sort of lacked. If you're just tuning in now, this is a critique for people who are into web design and development. I will have more guests coming on, so there'll be more Ambi conversations coming. I have a really cool Big Critique podcast coming up with a friend of mine from California on Monday. He should be, I believe I'm meeting him at a film festival. It should be a lot of fun. But anyway, so what I want to talk about right now. There are so many times, even still to this day, with the amount of education that we have on how to build an enterprise level application, that we still take for granted planning the user experience and workflow and everything like that, planning that on a very high level before we actually implement functionalities. We've got to stop putting functionality before user experience. Everything will go to shit and projects will take longer. That is what has happened time and time again. Okay? If we don't plan our projects out, I'm talking about discovery, I'm talking about identifying our users, I'm talking about identifying user needs, I'm talking about workflow. Like, there's really no point to designing and developing the application. And again, it's sort of to my own surprise that in 2019, there's still a decent amount of large-scale enterprise companies and startups that do this and that don't value getting a user experience designer into the like project mix in the very beginning, because there should always be a thing. But the thing is, it's not even just for that. It's for any type of business. You can't go to build a house without You see, if I wasn't doing this live, I would have just cut that out. But you can't go to build a house without an architect. You can't do that, right? So you can't go to build an app or a website okay. So an app is a little different than a website, because a website you can get a template and sort of plug and play, and that's already been planned out, so you don't really need one there. When it comes to an enterprise level of an application, when I say enterprise level, in case you guys don't realize, enterprise level simply means it's a business level. It's going to be used for business. So there will be 50, 100, hundreds of users, presumably, And in situations like this, there's a ton of logic that goes into it, and if it doesn't get planned out properly, even the most basic of tasks when it comes to filling out something as simple as a form can get completely messed up. So let's please not sleep on our UX design. Let's not sleep on that. Let's, consider that on a high level, on all levels, so to speak. That needs to be in there. All right, I'm done bitching and moaning about that. Now, what are we critiquing today? So, I found a photography website. I like doing websites where there's pros and cons, so let's get to it. I'm going to shrink myself down to size. Ooh, messed up a little before. Oh well. Oh, I completely fucked that up. Oops. There you go. You live and you learn, right? Whoever's viewing right now, thanks so much for joining. You could say hi. I'll respond back. Here, I'll do it now. So, we have SusanScheck.com. And if Susan should happen to see this critique, sorry, need some water, a little cotton mouth situation. If Susan should happen to see this critique, I think you do great work, Susan. I think your photography is beautiful, and I wish you the best, and I hope that your business flourishes. And I hope that we can all have a little fun and learn something from my opinions on her website. You know, a lot of people misunderstand this. Honestly, I don't know that there's an authority on anything. And the longer you live and the more you see, you'll understand this. There's no authority on anything, really. You'll say there's an authority on web design or development because of somebody wrote a book and how successful they were. It was only because of their own trial and error. Everything is consistently evolving. So what's right today may not be right tomorrow, you know? So my opinions on her work, that again are just subjective to me, based on the experiences that I've had, may be 100% correct today in the eyes of 100,000 people and may be wrong tomorrow in the eyes of 1 billion people. Who knows? But anyway, so Susan, if you happen to see this, and you can contact me and we'll talk about it, I'd love to speak to you. So the first thing that I would do, let's go through our page. So, Susan Check. She immediately shows off her photos, which is nice. You understand that she's a wedding photographer. This is a me thing. I don't love how the photo doesn't just stretch all the way across. I think it should. Not everybody likes that. Some people like the gutters. The gutters meaning the space in between, like, you know, the center and then the sides. It's probably not the biggest of deals. What I don't love at all is there's no boundaries. There's no spacing in between the logo and the photo and the top of the actual browser. There's none. Not fantastic. I think that there should definitely be some spacing in between. It just looks kind of weird. I also think there should be some sort of introductory text right when you land on the page. I mean, listen, you have an idea of what you're doing here, but it never hurts to give the user, hurts to give the user some sort of a call to action over here. It's what a lot of people would expect. They'd expect a call to action, and I feel like it'll make this site look a little bit more upscale and sellable. You'll also have a higher likelihood of getting somebody to click in right away and make contact with you. Remember, people, the longer you wait until there's some way to get in contact with you, the lesser or less of a likelihood they are to actually contact you. It doesn't matter how good your product is. People have very, very, very short attention spans. Never forget that. Sometimes I sing, right? It's weird. I don't care. I'm weird. Who knows? Great view for the picture, though. I was going to say it looks familiar. Maybe I've been there before. I don't know. Or maybe I haven't. Honestly, I have no idea where this picture is. Anyway, moving forward. Your story will always be our focus. A lot of different fonts going on here. I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, this is something that everybody should take into consideration when building. It's been all the best practices up until recent times that I have come to learn about. You see this logo where it is right over here? Most sites now are putting their logos all the way to the left of the screen. So even if you do have these gutters, which are fine, some sites do. That was definitely a me thing. You want to put this to the left of the screen. Let's see how this responds. And a good portion of the reason why is because it breaks up the flow of the actual menu, right? So it's like you have this centered, but do you want your logo to be the focal point of your website? Like, is that necessary? Because like I'm not sure that you do. And this is exactly like this is the focal point right here. You know, I bet you by making a few simple like changes to this, you see right here this looks better, and there's spacing. So she has almost a better setup for mobile than she does for desktop. I'd probably kill the Susan Check here as a part of your logo, and I just leave the S. I might also consider getting your logo redone. There's a lot of definition in this logo. I don't think it needs to be that way for a photography company or a photographer's website. Like, the less definition in a logo, the better. There's just a lot for branding purposes for the eye to take in a small area of space. At least I think. Let's go to the menu. Okay, it's a standard menu, nothing crazy. What I would do is I would blow the text up in the menu. You can leave it this font. let's see something. You can leave it that font. It's okay. I don't know. I don't love it, but that's totally a you thing. Photography is nice. Let's see. Can you blow these up? What happens? This is nice. I might actually try to lower the opacity on this picture a little bit more so you could see the picture a little bit more clear. This logo hugging this the top over here. This is no bueno. This is just like uneven space, like in between this and this. This should be a grid. This doesn't need to be like laid out like this. This could absolutely be a grid. I don't know how many people care about a huge picture place. Like, that's cool, but I wouldn't give a shit. So I don't, again, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. Oops. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. I'm truly just trying to maybe help you out. It looks pretty good. Pictures aren't bad. Maybe you might want to Photoshop a little bit more crisp. But maybe that's my monitor resolution. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna look through this entire thing. It's a lot. Let's see. I can't hear if there's music because I have my microphone plugged in. It's okay. I'm not really gonna spend too much time on that stuff because that's a whole different like avenue. This is nice. This I like. Just Instagram stuff. What I would consider doing, I mean, like, it's like not an issue really. What I would consider doing is I would consider showing less of these images and blowing them up a little bit. As far as this link, you should have this on your front page. I actually like the form. Can you not click into it? So I like the presentation of the form. Usability is not good though. Let's see, how did she build this? I wonder if this is a Squarespace or a WordPress. It's a WordPress, okay. People, the great thing about using a WordPress is you can literally change your theme in a matter of minutes and then just tweak it around. And there's hundreds of themes to either pick from that are free or you have to pay a few bucks for, but, you know, I mean, it's whatever you want. The usability of this form is not fantastic. That's not really her fault. At least I don't think it is. It can be tweaked. The form itself could just be like used better. Again, people, I love the way this form looks as far as like readability is concerned. It's clean. The font is rather large. Compared to a lot of, let's say, more standardized forms where you'll see like boxes and stuff, I like the way this looks a lot better. I know I've mentioned in the past, if you've seen before, that like there are forms that are even more modernized out there. I'm trying. I do want to show one to you. I just haven't found the one. Like, I don't remember where I saw what I'm trying to find, type deal. If anybody's ever gone through that before, like, I just have no. I don't remember where I saw what I saw, but I really liked it. Oh, photo booth. Meh. So it's all standard, which is fine. We were just on the inquiry page. Yeah, this picture's nice. Okay. That's it. I'm done shit talking them. No. Again, I try to do these things as tastefully as possible. The reason I started this whole like big critique thing in general, in case anybody gives a shit, is being in the design and development field for as long as I have been now. I notice, a lot of people I know have their own websites, and some I've helped, some I haven't. In years of doing this, you end up like noticing certain things that people could do differently. In the experience of somebody like myself who, goes to work and deals with this stuff every day. But again, and this is why this even like comes down to user experience for website building, because it's like I notice a lot of people put text on their websites still, right? Like, a website that hasn't maybe been updated since like last year or something like that, like design wise. There's a ton of text, and a lot of people try to keep text for SEO, and that's fine. But again, there's tasteful ways to do it. Please remember this, people. Nobody's going to read your text. And the more text you have on the site, unless you're a blog and there's like truly something of value there for people to read, people will probably bounce from your website if they see that, because they're not looking for that. They're looking to book. They're looking for the link to click. And perfect example of the site we just saw, where you land on the page, you see a menu and a picture, and there's no clickable link anywhere around there, or even text to point you in the right direction. The probability of someone actually contacting you is a lot lower than if there was a simple link on the landing page. And this is a mistake a lot of people make. It's not just one person. It's a lot. It's people. Here's the thing. Anybody can make a website these days, 100%. Anybody can launch it. Anybody can make a logo. You can go to free logo, free website, and you can make yourself a Wix, a Squarespace, whatever. But the benefit to hiring somebody like me, or like anybody in the field, is while the functionalities are there, understanding what to do with these functionalities on these platforms, on a platform like WordPress, like Squarespace, like Wix, understanding how to handle these functionalities and designs, and how to make sure that things are implemented the right way, understanding like how to do that stuff properly takes years of failure, years of messing up, which is the value that somebody like me has to bring to the table, where it's like, yes, I've been through the failures before, I've made the mistakes before, I've been doing this pretty much 10 years now, and so I know what to look for in a lot of cases, not all. It's, work for everybody is like a consistent learning curve. I'm pretty sure no matter what your profession is, right? But if you've been immersed in this stuff, you at least have a resume of things you understand to work and not to work. A lot of people, talk about failure and success. You could call it that, and you probably will, a lot of you, which is fine. But I think more so, it really truly is just learning experiences, because now you get to right the wrongs that you've made, and that's it. So once again, guys, my name is Mark. For those of you tuning in, I can speak perfectly fine. For those of you tuning in, thank you so much for watching and listening to me critique and talk shit for a little bit. It's much appreciated. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you have any requests, if you want to work with me, if you want me to critique your site live, I would love to do that. I would love the chance to do that with you. Love to work with new people. Love meeting new people. Hit me up. Comment, like, dislike. Tell me what you think I should do better. What you think I am doing good. I don't know. Whatever you want. I don't really care. Doesn't matter. As far as bringing people on, again, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but so I will be bringing. Pardon me, little flatulence. I will be bringing people on. Again, took a little break from it, honestly, just because it's hard to match up schedules. And not everybody wants to get in front of a camera, But it's more so hard to match up schedules. But I'm going to be shooting at least one podcast next week with a again. I remember I said this before earlier in the podcast. A special guest, friend of mine I met in California when I was in LA. I don't know if I mentioned that to you guys in this podcast or whatever, but yeah, I was in LA a few weeks ago with my fiance, and I met some guy at a dispensary. That sounded weird. That sounded weird. Whatever. I met a friend at a dispensary, and he is doing a showing of his film at a film festival in Tribeca Monday. I believe we are podcasting live from there, from the green room, Monday. So that should be really, really cool. I'm really excited about that. And we can talk about his new movie. His new, I think it's an independent film. It's going to be really cool. Guys, once again, I talked mad. Thank you. Sorry, I talked a lot. Probably didn't understand. I may have been slurring my words. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found any value in this, hit that subscribe button. And if you didn't, hit it anyway and you can hate watch me. Hit the like button. Thanks, guys, so much. Until next time, goodbye.